Hey everyone, welcome back to the UFO Timeline Project Podcast. I'm Misha Verge, and as always, I'm here with Victoria Bachan. Today we're jumping into a topic that's been lighting up my inbox, this Wall Street Journal article about Pentagon disinformation and UFOs. Victoria, you saw the headline, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's everywhere right now. The article basically claims that the whole American UFO phenomenon is just a product of Pentagon disinformation. Like the government planted stories, spun the media, and poof! Suddenly we've got decades of UFO mythology. But honestly, I'm not sure it's that simple.
Yeah, and Richard Dolan, if you caught his latest video, he's not buying it either. He's like, not so fast. He actually argues that the article itself is a kind of disinformation, which I mean is kind of meta, right? Disinformation about disinformation. But he's got a point. The article's framing is super convenient for people who want to just shut down the whole conversation.
Exactly. Dolan calls it a trap. If you say UFOs are just a Cold War psy-op, then Congress and the public can just ignore all the real evidence. It's like, oh, nothing to see here, folks, just some old government tricks. But that ignores so much history, and honestly, a lot of credible data.
And it makes me wonder, who actually benefits from that narrative? If you convince people it's all just a Pentagon game, then you don't have to deal with the actual sightings, the sensor data, the pilots coming forward. It's a neat way to keep the lid on, especially now that public interest is at an all-time high. I mean, we talked about this with Jay Stratton in our last episode, right? The whole battle between secrecy and disclosure.
Yeah, and it's not just about the government. The media plays a huge role, too. If a big outlet like the Wall Street Journal says, hey, it's all fake, a lot of people just accept that. But, like Dolan says, we need to be skeptical of everything, including the skeptics. It's not about picking a side. It's about asking, what are we not being told?
And that's the thing. This idea that the Pentagon invented UFOs is, well, it's just not true. I mean, there are reports of strange things in the sky going back centuries. We're talking ancient cave art, medieval chronicles, even stuff from like the 1800s in Europe and Asia. The phenomenon is way older than the Pentagon, or even the United States.
Right. And it's not just in America. There are international accounts, from South America to Africa to Australia. Some of those old reports are honestly wild, like people describing flying shields or glowing orbs. It's hard to chalk all of that up to government psyops, especially when the government didn't even exist yet.
Yeah, and I've mentioned this before, but my dad, he was an airline pilot and a World War II vet. He had his own sighting back in the 1950s. This was before the whole Cold War UFO craze really took off. He saw something he couldn't explain, and he wasn't the only one. There were other pilots, radar guys, even regular folks reporting weird stuff in the sky. So, I mean, unless the Pentagon had a time machine, it just doesn't add up.
That's such a good point. And it raises the question, are these just enduring myths? Or is there something real going on? Like, are we just seeing what we want to see? Or is there an actual phenomenon that's been with us for, well, as long as we've been looking up?
I mean, I'm not saying every sighting is an alien spaceship, but to say it's all just stories planted by the Pentagon, that's a stretch. There's a deeper mystery here, and I think it's worth digging into, not just writing it off as some Cold War mind game.
And speaking of digging in, let's talk about the modern sightings that the WSJ article just kind of ignores. We've got military pilots, radar operators, astronauts, people with serious credentials, reporting things that defy easy explanation. Some of these cases have sensor data, multiple witnesses, the whole 9 yards. It's not just old stories from the 1950s. It's happening now.
Yeah, and it's wild how those cases get brushed aside. Like, remember the Cash Landrum case we covered a few episodes back? That was in the 1980s, and it had physical evidence, health effects, and still crickets from the official side. It's almost like there's a pattern of ignoring the credible stuff and focusing on the noise.
Totally. And Dolan's big message is, don't fall for easy answers. Whether it's all aliens or it's all government lies, neither extreme really helps us get closer to the truth. We need to be skeptical of every narrative, even the ones that sound comforting or familiar. Actually, there was a recent pilot sighting. This was just last year, where the pilot described a fast-moving object that showed up on radar and was seen visually by the whole crew. The report was filed, but it barely made a blip in the news cycle. Why is that?
Yeah, and that's the million-dollar question. Is it because the government wants to keep things quiet, or is it just media fatigue? Or maybe both? I mean, sometimes I think the media just doesn't want to deal with the complexity. It's easier to say, oh, it's all a hoax, or it's just secret tech. But like as we've seen, that doesn't explain everything.
And that's why we do this podcast, right? To challenge the narratives, ask the hard questions, and keep the conversation going. Whether it's ancient sightings or modern pilot reports, there's a lot we still don't know. But if we stop asking, we'll never find out.
Exactly. So I guess the takeaway is, stay curious, stay skeptical, and don't let anyone tell you the story is over. There's always more to discover. Victoria, any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Just that I hope everyone listening keeps questioning, keeps digging, and, keeps looking up. We'll be back soon with more cases and more mysteries. Thanks for joining us, Misha.
Thank you, Victoria, and thanks to everyone out there for tuning in. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies. Bye.
Bye, everyone.